in America. Let's bring in Texas Republican Congressman Lance Gooden, a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, so from your perspective on the Financial Services Committee, what do you say to the Commerce Secretary who says it's like we're trying to talk ourselves into a recession?
Well, I think the masters of spin at the White House are the ones trying to talk the American people out of what's really happening. And I think it's interesting that they now have the Commerce Secretary doing the talking. I think Janet Yellen perhaps was too honest. And they're running out of faces that are honest. They're having to pull new people off the bench to spin this narrative to the American people that we're in better shape than we are. And all we need to do, the average American needs to go to the gas pump or the grocery store, and they know that we're in a heap of trouble. And the reason we're in this position is that the inflationary pressures that we are seeing are a result, in fact, of congressional spending that Joe Biden has pushed since he took office, bad decisions such as reining in our American energy policy, refusing to unleash American energy and open up the spigot of oil here at home. And we're suffering. My constituents are suffering. But one of the interesting points she made was that this jobs number was actually a positive. I would, in fact, agree that it is a positive, but what she failed to mention is the reason these numbers are looking better from a jobs perspective is because of all the red states that are creating these jobs. None of this good news that she was talking about was coming from blue states. And I think it's pretty hypocritical that the administration is so hard on these red states, yet they're using their successes to help pad the numbers.
Meantime, the president is going to Saudi Arabia to beg them to pump more oil. All the while, he's been tapping the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in this country, which is supposed to be saved for a rainy day, trying to drive down oil prices. But lo and behold, it turns out that 5 million barrels of that oil was shipped to other countries, including almost 1 million that went to China, to a company controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, a company that also has ties to Hunter Biden. Ro Khanna, the Democratic congressman from California, mentioned that. Here's him along with Governor Greg Abbott.
I don't understand why we're allowing the oil to be exported to countries like China when we need it here in the United States.
Texas is one of the, if not the most prolific producer of oil in the entire world. And all we need is the permits from the Biden administration, the authorization to build more refineries. We could be producing the gasoline that would lower price at the pump if the Biden administration would unleash the American oil and gas ingenuity.
Pretty hard to argue with what Governor Abbott has to say there.
Yes, and you know, it's so bad that Ro Khanna, one of the most liberal members of the Democratic Conference in the House of Representatives, who I serve with, he's even being critical of this Biden administration. I'll also remind you and your viewers, do you recall when Donald Trump said, let's fill up the strategic reserve when prices were so cheap, when you couldn't get enough gas in the tanks because we were all sitting at home and enjoying the cheap gas? If we were enjoying anything in life, it was the ability to fill up your gas tank. Donald Trump was ridiculed for that. Nancy Pelosi said, no, we're not going to do that. And now we're actually pulling from these reserves and shipping the oil off to China. It's un-American, it's embarrassing, and I think it's a disgrace and a true sign of the times that liberals in California even have a problem with it.
And I believe the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at its lowest level in history, or very close to it.
What a shame.
Texas Congressman Lance Gooden. Congressman, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.